Let's do it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all enjoyed the weekend. I had a good one. Actually, I had a really good Saturday. Sunday, I broke even. I went 1-1. But overall, it was a good betting weekend, fun weekend. Did the Valentine's Day thing on Saturday night. That was nice. But here we are. NBA still on the All-Star break. Got my NBA All-Star hat on. So it's not exactly the most exciting night of college basketball. There are a few cool games to go through. But that being said, there's really nothing else. So we'll only have 3 games queued up. I guess Toast is a no-show. I don't know where he is. I texted him we're having a live show at 4 p.m. last night, and he said, and I quote, cool. So I assumed that meant he was going to come. Maybe not. But anyway, so this will be like quick as hell. Just me and Andy, only 3 games. And the first one has me scratching my head here. We're now up to 3.5. I grabbed Virginia at +3, thinking that line was going to drop. It went towards Virginia Tech. Now, the only angle I can think of did you watch the video I made last night, Andy?
I don't think I got to that.
Okay, so basically everything I found points towards Virginia here. They're the much better team, getting points. I'm on Virginia. I already bet it. The only possible angle I could see for Virginia Tech here would be it's the rivalry game, okay, but it's a rivalry game on both sides. They need the game a lot more than Virginia does. You could say that because they're still trying to get into the tournament. Virginia's pretty much already in there. So they need the game more. And then you can point at the fact that they're at home because Virginia's defense, it is elite, but it hasn't been quite as good on the road. So I guess you could point at that. But overall, this just feels like Virginia's the much stronger team. And the line's moving against me. Like I said, I'm in at Virginia +3. I'm not going to let it scare me off. I still think Virginia's the right side. They're the much better team. I know it's going to be super square, super public dog here, but I feel like Virginia's the way to go. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I thought the same thing when you called me last night. I didn't quite get the line. I can understand the thought of they need it more. They're at home. I think that's really the only thing you can look at. I think Virginia's a far better team. I think the difference is maybe Virginia won Saturday in a tough game against Wake Forest. I think the score was like 49-47. What a great game that was. But then Virginia Tech also lost, and they lost about how we thought they would to North Carolina. So I think it really comes down to just everybody thinks Virginia Tech needs it more at home. That's really it. I think when you look at it from a pure basketball standpoint, Virginia's a far better team. They play a better style. They're better at their style than Virginia Tech is. Virginia Tech's not really beaten anybody of note this year. So, yeah, I couldn't do anything but side with Virginia, and it just comes down to basketball from that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt this is a sharp play to take Virginia Tech and lay the 3 or the 3.5. But in order for me to take it, I got to find something. Like, there has to be some kind of angle. Like, oh, Virginia Tech should be able to exploit this, or Virginia's going to struggle here. I wasn't seeing it. I mean, the weakness of this Virginia team is the offense, and even the offense has been playing. I mean, it's been playing at a decent level. Virginia 9-1 in their last 10. Seems like they're playing their best basketball right now. I don't see any reason to try and take a stab on Virginia Tech. As I said, and as we know, this is going to be the heavy public side, as you can see from the poll. 70%, 20%. So yeah, super public, super square dog. I don't care. I think the Sharps have this one wrong. I don't know what they're seeing to lay this kind of a number with Virginia Tech against a defense like Virginia.
Yeah.
Next game. Iowa State at Houston. The crazy part is when I first looked at this game, before I even looked at any numbers or anything, I was like, how the hell could you lay 9 points to Iowa State? I was like, there's no chance in hell. How is this line even 9.5? And I thought I would definitely be on Iowa State without a doubt. But I don't know if you guys watched the video I made last night, but breaking down the matchups here, this is a tough matchup for Iowa State. Not like obviously we know Houston's defense is insane, but it's even more insane at home. They're really good at defending everything Iowa State's going to try to do. The way to exploit Houston defensively is to get hot from outside. Iowa State doesn't have outside shooting. They take most of their shots on the interior, which plays right into the strength of Houston's defense. Iowa State's not going to score in this game. Now, you can make the argument right back, hey, Houston's not going to score either. That offense isn't very consistent, and I hear you. But you know what? That offense looked pretty damn good against Texas the other night, and I couldn't get there. So I don't know if you saw. You know what? Let me bring it up on the screen in case you didn't watch. I think I have an image of it right here. I put down a stupid same game parlay, and it's stupid. These are terribly valued, but this is an awesome game. I don't want to have a bet down. So this is what I placed here in case you didn't see it. It's the same game parlay. I teased Houston down to 3.5 and took the under at 134.5. Again, these same game parlays are terribly valued. You know what? I'll leave this over here in Toast Spot because he decided to no show. So, yeah, that's what I did for this one. By no means am I saying this is a smart bet. You should tail this. This is me just sharing what I did. Because I wanted to, and if I was forced to get to a side, I honestly would consider laying it with Houston because I really like the matchup for them. I expect Iowa State to be a very public dog here. But I didn't. That's my bet on the right. That's what I did. Just doing a little bit of gambling. Andy?
Yeah, I'm on your side on this one, too.
For real? You're in Houston?
Yeah,
wow.
I think this is spot. I think they looked obvious. Their offense looked great against Texas the other day. And also, this is a revenge spot. They lost to Iowa State. I think it's one of their only 2 conference losses, if I'm not mistaken. They lost at Iowa State. I think they'll look a lot better here. Like you said, they're much better at home. It's just a spot for me. They have the revenge aspect. They're playing probably their best basketball, and they're getting back to it offensively, and they're just coming off crushing Texas. So I think they're in a really good spot here to get revenge, and I think they'll take it out on them pretty good. I think it'll be a 15, 16-point win for them.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that. That's another thing. Iowa State beat these guys back in early January at Iowa State. Yeah. So now back at home, I like the revenge angle too. And if you're wondering why I added the under, both these defenses should really give the offense. I mean, Iowa State, I don't know how they're going to score. The final score of the first matchup between these two teams was 57-53. So it went under the total by like 25, 30 points. So yeah, I'm on Houston here. Poll is on Iowa State. 46. Well, actually, it's even. 46%, 46%. So pretty split down the middle here. Someone asked if I ever bet the NHL. Yeah, but unfortunately, the time of year that the NHL is on, I don't have time to personally look at it. So I do bet it sometimes, but usually I'm just tailing people I trust. It takes a lot of time for me to.
I did yesterday.
You bet NHL?
Yeah, the Rangers game was a really good game.
It takes a lot of time for me to. My process is like a pretty lengthy one. I'm not like a point and picker. I really like to do my homework, and I just don't have time to fit NHL in there. So when I'm betting hockey, I'm just tailing somebody that I trust. Next, Kansas State at Texas, and maybe I'm crazy, but is Kansas State live here? I mean, the defense isn't playing well.
Defense is playing well. They still aren't a great offensive team. I'm starting to get back on Texas's train here. I think they have a lot more talent than I know. Toast is a big Texas hater. I think they have too much talent to not be a great team. I think they just look good right now. Obviously, they were playing Houston the other day. What did you expect from them, right? But they're a really solid team, and I think they'll regroup today. That also means it's a great spot for them coming off getting crushed. It's a get me right game here for them, and don't love Kansas State in Big 12 play. It just hasn't been the same. I think I've been saying it for weeks. I think their coach has his foot out the door. I think that team has their some of their guys have their feet out the door. A big game from A. Smith tonight too. I think because he was originally committed to go to Kansas State in the transfer portal, then decided last minute to go to Texas. This is a kid. He can score 25 on anybody. I think he'll have a big night. They should crush him tonight.
Yeah, a couple of people in the comments said it. Kansas State will have problems holding on to the ball. Kansas State has turnover problems. I don't know if you saw in the video last night, but in the last 10 games, Kansas State has a turnover rate of 21.1%. They're turning the ball over 1 out of every 5 possessions. That's absolutely crazy. 361st in the country in the last 10. There's only 363 Division I college basketball teams, so Kansas State really struggling to protect the basketball. But here's the thing. After that, I couldn't find any angles I liked for Texas. I mean, Kansas State's been playing really good defense everywhere. They've defended the three-point shot really well. They're actually 5th in three-point efficiency above the break. They protected the rim well. They're guarding the mid-range shot well. Kansas State's playing great defense right now. So you're asking me to lay damn near double-digit points with a Texas team that I don't think is very good. against a good defense. I mean, there's just no way I can get there. So I'm on Kansas State. I haven't bet this one yet, but this is the only way I'd go is Kansas State. This number's just too big. I know Kansas State's offense is terrible, but when you're winning by double digits, you better be scoring some points. And I don't trust Texas to do it against a Kansas State defense that's playing really well. So that's what I'd go with.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really good game. I don't see it from Kansas State, but their defense, like you said, is playing well. Their offense, they're one of those teams, and they're a lot kind of like Virginia. Their offense makes me not want to back them at times.
I mean, the offensive numbers are bad for Kansas State for sure. There was one angle, though. You know what? I bet you I can find it right here. We only have 3 games, so I have an extra minute. Check this out. So Kansas State, Texas, what was it? This one? That's Kansas State's defense. This one? No. Hold on. Here it is. So it's 3. I want to look. By no means am I trying to say Kansas State's defense, Kansas State's offense is good. Trust me, I'm not saying that. But I will say this. Look where Kansas State takes a lot of their shots from. At the rim, and they've been pretty efficient down there. 63rd in efficiency. Texas defense allowing a lot of shots down low. Now, 142nd in efficiency, so they haven't been terrible defending them. But if you're looking, this is the way I exactly phrased it on the video I uploaded last night. If you're looking for an angle to get to Kansas State, if you're just searching for something, this could be it. Maybe Kansas State could get buckets down low on Texas in this one. And like I said, Kansas State's defense should give them problems. So if you could just find something that says like, okay, maybe the offense can get a little bit going, I think Kansas State's the move. So yeah, I am going to bet this one actually as I'm talking about it. There's not a lot of games on tonight, so and I don't even like my Houston bet, that same game parlay. That's more for fun. So I'll probably bet this one just so I have some more action down. Yeah, I'm going to bet Kansas State.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments put probably my favorite bet of the game we aren't doing. It's Nichols tonight against New Orleans. I couldn't believe somebody commented that, but yeah, I love Nicholls State tonight. They're coming off getting crushed by the best team in the conference. Now they're going on the road, but they're facing one of the worst teams maybe in the country in New Orleans. So I like that one. They're actually 1.5 point favorites. I think they win that game pretty comfortably. They're playing a very bad team.
The promo for underdog is bet, B-E-T. So if when you make your account, use the promo code bet, B-E-T. You like Nichols? Looks like the comments like Nichols as well.
Yeah, it seems to be very popular. I had Nichols and Charleston.
Oh, let me look up the line on that. You guys like Nichols? Should I tell that?
It was 1.5 at New Orleans, the Privateers.
The Privateers.
I think it's just a great spot for them. They're coming off getting crushed by the best team in the conference, so it's a rebound spot. I know they're going on the road, but I don't really worry about when you're significantly better than your opponent like that. I don't really worry about being on the road that much because New Orleans is an awful team. They're like 8-18 this year, so I'm pretty comfortable with Nichols tonight. I also had Charleston. I blindly bet Charleston at this point. They're 17-point favorites at home against William and Mary. I feel pretty good about them.
I see a Nicholls State minus 120 money line on DraftKings. Minus 115 on Bovada. I don't have a Bovada account, though. So you can get minus 120 for Nicholls State on DraftKings or PointsBet. Screw it. I'm in. Let me do it. Bet this Nicholls State.
Nicholls State.
I'll jump in on this crap.
Yeah.
Only because there's just nothing on tonight.
There isn't. It's only that and this in NASCAR. I know. I guess NHL's on too, but I'm not an NHL guy. Obviously. Just watch.
All right, I'm in. Bet place. Nicholls State.
Nicholls State.
Christ.
Be ready. Privateers. I don't know who the Nicholls State. I don't know what their name is. Can't think of it.
Lock Kansas too, Kyle. I'm almost positive Kansas doesn't play.
I think you meant Kansas State, I would think.
Yeah, we just talked about it. I'm on Kansas State.
That's what I think.
All right. Yeah, sorry for the short show, but there's no action tonight. But tomorrow is a pretty good Tuesday. There's not a ton of games, but there's a decent amount of good games. So we're going to upload a video tonight, and we'll do the live show tomorrow. Who knows if Toast will show up, maybe Scoop. Who knows with these folks? We'll see.
It's a really strong Big East week this week from Monday to Sunday, or from Tuesday
Well, I
to
know
Sunday.
UConn plays Creighton. Let's look at tomorrow's
UConn plays
real quick.
Creighton. Butler plays Villanova. Those are two teams on the bubble. And I think later, I think the Friday game might actually be decent. I know Seton Hall plays Butler. Saturday, I'll be there. That's two bubble teams. The only team I don't want to watch in the Big East right now is St. John's because their games are as predictable as could be. Because they'll be up big. They were up 19.
Did they beat Seton Hall the other night?
No, dude, they were up 19 in the second half and lost
Oh
to
my
Seton Hall.
God, so embarrassing.
Rick Pitino did about a 10-minute press conference where he threw about everything in the sun under the bus except himself. It was ugly. St. John's is at a very low point. But, hey, I think a New Jersey team locked their way into the tournament last night in Seton Hall. So
you love to see it.
yeah, it's just one less game we can bet, unfortunately, in the tournament.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to watch them.
All right, well, let's call it. Tomorrow we'll be back. Still no NBA, so we're just going to do the college basketball show at 4 p.m. Until the NBA comes back, and then we'll move it back to 3 p.m. On Thursday. NBA comes back strong, too. Thursday and Friday, strong NBA night, so we're coming back with a bang. That'll be on Thursday. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Not enough games to do a community parlay, so everyone have a good night. Remember to bet responsibly, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Later.
Oh, yeah.
All right.